didn't have a picture of like uncorked. I wanted to use one from for their event.
Yeah, we have the we have the generic one too, which is just Leslie in a wine glass.
Thank you. I'm excited. It's a little different. I can't
It's always intimidating with their outfit. I'm like, look at these plain things.
What would you like me to say?
So good.
I know that's right. I see you look bad. I'm here in a t-shirt, bro. We're all wearing hi. I'm like, what are you doing? I look like I showed up for church wearing my white t-shirt, bro. That's you, man.
Hey all, welcome. Give yourselves a hand for showing up and supporting local arts and artists. Keep it going for our featured jam who is here. Y'all, this is Poetry in the Brew. The show is what you make it. So thank you for making it. I am your host, Christine Hall. We have been doing this 11 years in this space. I've been hosting for 8 of them, and we are down to our last 3 shows. November will be our finale, and we are just really ramping it up, having some features. I am so super excited for these last 3 shows. So I am gonna take care of a little bit of business. I'm gonna read you a poem, and then we're gonna do something a little different and have our feature up first tonight, and then we will go into the open mic. Special thanks to Patrick and the crew at Portland Brew East. They stay open late just for us. So you can tip them in cash downstairs. That would be great. Show your appreciation for that. And if you want to throw in up here, you can throw some in that, or we've got some electronic methods of paying. We do an honorarium for our feature. We throw some more down there for Patrick, and we take care of our operating expenses with that. So anything you're able to do, we appreciate. Let's see, what else? I think I might just go ahead and read this one that I'm working on. It's not finished, but I like to see how it breathes. So I'm gonna see about breathing some life into it. Also, before I forget, I do want to say next Saturday, if y'all feel like joining us for some outside poetry, 1 p.m. at Scarrett Bennett on the Labyrinth. We'll be doing a poetry pop-up, and those are always really fun. So you can find us on all the socials at Poetry in the Brew and see some news about that. All right. So what? So buttons? Bachelor buttons by the side of the road. Shrimp flowers. They're medicinal, you know. His favorites are trumpet vine and honeysuckle, the ones that grab a stranglehold and won't let go. I go to the lake alone because even as a single lady, the risk of getting fucked with is less than the 100% if I went with him. Some people call trumpet vine invasive. Other people say it's just vigorous, determined, dominant, persistent. Me? I don't need a bouquet to say it. I'll pick one flower and pin it on him, name him handsome, tell him a woman like me is just what he needs, someone to train him, whip him into shape, weed that garden, and make dinner with all the fixins. I'll go with him, steady as it were, or persistent. Leave that fickle thing alone, flighty, pansy, rose-colored, glassy. She's stained, she's painted, she's no shrinking violet. She's no flower, she's no gilded lily. She's no lady, even. Much like me, old maid, going for a swim in the lake, alone, unlonely, no water lilies, no gilding, no gilded edges, no gilt edging in. For tiny infractions spread out, tight, veined forks tessellating, fractals flashing. Duckweed is the smallest blooming plant. A witchy friend taught me that. We keep our own company. We grow in the mud. We grow in the sand. We grow in the rocks. We grow tired of old stories. We lay the flowers on the grave and let them sleep. I give flowers to the boys and wear a frothy crown of seaweed. I wrap my arms up like swamp thing, like sea witch, like monstrous, like siren, like mermaid with teeth. Like, that's me plucking his bachelor button, and he could only agree. That was fun. I cannot wait to hear what you all have to say. But first, what I'm going to say is this feature is one I have been waiting for. I am so excited and appreciative that she agreed to join us in this space. First time I ever laid eyes on her in person. That was the first breath that came out of my mouth. Oh my goodness, will you feature, please? And I just caught her at Po' Boys and Poets on Thursday, blew me away. I cannot wait for more. I want you all to join me in the warmest welcome for tonight's feature jam.
How y'all doing today?
Good.
Woo! Hey, that's good. Y'all energy real good today. Y'all energy real good. Y'all energy real good. So my name is Jam. Some people call me Jam or Jam Spoken on Instagram. I am just recently published a book. It is called Emerging, Becoming New. My book has been out. How long has it been out? April. It's about to be a year. So I have sold like over 500 books. So I'm very, very happy about that. It is a poetry book, but it's not just poetry. It's a mix of skill-based learning to deal with mental health and teach people, because that's what I do. I work with mental health, people with autism, people with drug addictions, everything. So it's kind of close to my heart. So I wrote that book so people can deal with the traumas. You know, a lot of times we go through traumas in our life and we don't deal with it. We just suppress it or sweep it under the rug or learn how to adapt in our environment or use different coping mechanisms to get past it. But in this season, we're healing. You know, I'm healing. So I hope that everybody that I encounter, I allow them to heal. That's just a little bit about me. I have been doing poetry for just a year. It's like my year anniversary. But I started writing poetry as a little girl. I've been writing poetry for a very, very long time. But I stopped doing it when I got about 20, when I had kids. And then I haven't did it ever since. So I've been on like a hiatus, but when I started back when the pandemic happened, it really sparked something in me. So I'm back in love with poetry. Anybody in here that's in love with poetry? Okay, so I got this little thing that I do for my creators. Y'all can clap. Let me see, can y'all clap on beat? Just go ahead and start clapping. Yeah, there you go, just a little clap. All right, on beat. This is for my creators, hustlers, and motivators. I dedicate this poem to you. This is for those who underlook sometimes be underbooked. I dedicate this poem to you. This is for those who create a space for others to find a place. I dedicate this poem to you. Birth from a place of pain, but be grateful. Never see the dream as in vain, so we ain't full. Titus put a we just dress like a muscle, we just break through. And they hate you, make them. We create food. They wasted, stimulate the mind like I'm Jesus, but they ain't Jews. It take a different type of man to expose all they fake news birth from the place of the humble. We Godspeed. It's our time, so rise, king. Buried for a season, but the spent a lot of time dreaming on them hot nights. Patient in the field with the mic right, and I just crossed over like my mic's nice. I wrote that just for my creators, you know what I mean? Like, we do this stuff and we be everywhere and we just go pour our hearts out. So I thank God for not just the creators, but people like her that create spaces for us to allow us to have a voice so other people can have a voice as well. But I don't like use mic. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
My voice is loud. So I'm going to go into this poem. It's called Mother. They say a mother is a covering. How many times have my mother covered me on sick days? Hands made for soup that soothes belly aches, toothaches, amused for better days. My mother's words will always reflect on the low days. Like you can do anything you set your mind to. See, my mother was mindful. I watched woman be God, so I called her God. And even when she didn't have it in her, she tried her hardest. She made syrup out of sugar and water. That biscuit used to have them biscuits real thick. I tell you, my mother was a lender, a giver, a borrower. She was not only earth, she was earth, a Virgo, practical and grounded. So every time I look in the mirror, I see a reflection of my mother. I'm mother like my mother. I keep my children real close, but I do not choke choices out of them. I allow them to choose freely, speak freely. See, my mother did not shelter me, but when I needed shelter, she did what mothers do. She provided hay and sticks and bricks and built the foundation on what I stand. See, I get my strength from my mother and my hips from my mother. She carried 3, she carried 6, I carry 3. All mothers are carriers of life, of love, of friendship, of hips, of limbs that bend but never break, always throwing shade. Who is that, your little friend? Black mothers are carriers of life. If you ain't been birthed at least once, then you do not know Easter or Sundays, where we call them the mother of the church. Villages are in shambles because we forgot the meaning of mother, of big mom. See, birth is not the only thing that makes you a mother. It's in the arms of resistance, never to resist those who need you. It's in the choices to be selfless, the emptying of oneself to fertilize the seed for the next generation. This is a celebration for the mothers we call teachers, the mothers in the bleachers, the mothers at every game, the mothers who lose sleep all in the name of motherhood. This is for the mothers who cannot bear children, but found the fortitude to grab a hold of a child who is not their own, provide a home, a safe place. This is for the mothers who raise children without fathers. They forgot how to be a person. All they know how to do is be a mother. You are woman. You are love. You are branches that never stop growing. You are moon. You are sun that rises every morning. You are bond. You are glue. I'm talking about boho, gorilla. You never let go. You are God. And you will never be forgotten. So I pay tribute to Mother Earth.
Oh,
Yeah. So this next poem, it's gonna be depending on how you feel about yourself. Anybody in here love themselves? Okay. Okay. Oh, they y'all don't love yourself? Okay, I said anybody in here love themselves? All right, that's better. So I wrote this poem because I was on the journey of loving myself, and I had to learn the key thing about loving yourself is not that when you love yourself, it's not in the absence of love of others. But you just learn how to have some boundaries for you. You have to learn to appreciate your own company. So I wrote this piece. So can we have church for a second?
woo!
Yeah.
A little bit of church. But this is my church. I'm turning it a different type of way. I want you to turn to your neighbor. Thank you. Say neighbor.
Neighbor.
I fuck
Fuck
with me.
with me.
I fuck
Fuck
with me.
with me.
Y'all don't sound like y'all believe it. Y'all
Ooh.
gotta get a little anything. I
Fuck
with me.
with me.
I once heard a phrase that you're only as good as your team. Made me think like, damn, what happens when niggas leave? Like when your circle turns into a dot and that one dot points back to you, you better learn how to fuck with you. See, I learned how to fuck with me. I learned how to be enough with me. Citing rooms taught me to never silence myself. They be like, you brag and beat like your first nut ain't the one you give to yourself. How dare not fuck with me? I fucked with them and I fucked with him, but I only came the hardest when I fucked with me. See, they forget the picture of the little girl in the mirror, comparing herself to the little girl up the street. And the little girl up the street walked with her head down, afraid to meet the eyes of those who desensitize their voice, while boardrooms are filled with white women who love to voice their opinion. Black women are taught to be silent and quiet. Just be glad you're in the room. Just be happy you're at the table. We're gonna scratch the pieces of ourselves, just fractions dying. That's why we never learn how to fuck with ourselves. You know how many no's I've been heard? How many doors that been closed? How many loans been forfeited by niggas who was supposed to back the vision, but they left me in my back out only to back out looking for a quittal. It's 2022 and I ain't looking for no seat at your table. I'm building one of my own, homegrown. Not fuck with me strong, so you can wipe my ass with that false humility. It's just a cover up. Not to be proud that you exist, not to be loud about your shit. They don't want you to be proud of shit about you. Don't you ever let nobody fuck with you more than you fuck with you. I was taught to touch myself first, so I know how I wanted to be touched, so I fuck with myself first, so I know when niggas don't fuck with me enough, when niggas fucking me too rough, when niggas about to come and pregnate me with some bullshit, they be asking me questions like, why you masturbate so much? You ain't know? As a reminder to always fuck with me tough, because I fuck with me. But this really was just a deliberate to tell people, fuck with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck with yourself and all the aspects of the word. Words are just words, and we use them however. If you want to say, I mess with me, I love you, however you want to internalize it. But the message will always remain the same. It's in the core of the message. I fuck with me. On today, on tomorrow, on yesterday, and every day that moves after. You have to learn how to fuck with you because we gonna die. One day we come in here, not by ourselves, but we gonna leave. But you have to learn how to truly, truly be okay. Because once you're okay with yourself, you can give more. You can pour out more. And you will learn how to teach other people how to be okay with themselves. Because a lot of times we just pretend. You know what I mean? So we have to get over that hump. So I wrote that poem just in celebration to myself. I was talking to myself because I was in a place where I didn't fuck with me for real. Because when everybody left, I was depressed and I was sad and I was in a bad place. But I realized that was God telling me, you need to learn how to adapt to self-love, okay? So I want y'all to work on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, I need y'all ready for audience participation?
Woo!
This next poem is called Authors. And I wrote this, and this is a celebration for Black people. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes our voice is not heard amongst people, and they think that we're trying to throw tantrums or create false narratives of racism, but we really do live that. That has been our life. We have been pushed out and humiliated in so many places. I have been so many times where people have looked at me in shame, and it's just because of the color of my skin. So it's not a false narrative that we paint or we trying to be push another race out, but we just want people to have an understanding of the pain that we face. So I built this for us to have something to celebrate. Because a lot of times, if you celebrate your Blackness, then people feel like you're anti-them. But sometimes you have to learn how to be proud to be you, because we've been taught our whole life not to have to be proud of each other. But I'm proud to be Black. Now I'm Black and I'm proud. I'm Black and I'm proud. I'm Black and I'm proud. Black and I'm proud. Black and I'm proud. They say, what do we build? We build altars, sacred places in which we commemorate the pain of our ancestors. Naked visuals of injustice. Blood masked so we scream red. For all the blood shed, I wondered if I would get past the blood that was shed. Freedom don't seem much like freedom these days. What a cost to pay to raise the flag of liberation. Libya, Kenya, Ghana, Africa diaspora, a people without a country, indigenous. Hard to identify my pain when it has been dispersed in so many places. I sit there on the altar like Hannah in anguish, asking God to allow me to give birth to a Samuel, a people whose strength lies in the locks of their head. Our skin Black, we scream Bob Black, made from the mud of the Nile. Black land, kindred, the immortals of this country will not be forgotten by the rotten fruits of colonization. We scream green, prosperity, fertility, the land of natural resource. We have been a resource for that growth for years. America, I will never claim that I am a Black woman. I remember a white woman told me to be pro anything, you had to be anti-something. And I told her, I spent my high school years wearing my hairspray. My college years changing my voice for job interviews. And the nice environment was one outside the inner city. And to be a Black woman of class to remove myself from the term ghetto, ratchet. I've been taught my whole life how to be anti-myself, and you're offended. Because I'm proud. So I built an altar right in front of her and told her we about to have church. And you're going to clap for the perseverance of my people, for the backs you use, that's. You will sit here and listen to the benediction. My people are emeralds. I am proud to be from the tribe of, I wish a nigga would, ghetto, ratchet, loud, who else have got close enough to heat to be kissed by the sun, made in the fire, Black spiritual sun from the depths of our bellies, underground railroads, our feet know no distance, but they hate us. But today, they will observe our greatness. Now let the church say, amen.
Amen.
All right, let me see. Can you get on beat? Love of my life, you are my friend. Love of my life, no pretend. All right. Got a little beat going on. Let's see where I'm gonna go. All ready. Okay, y'all got it. Come on. Is y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready. I was created for this. Have you ever sat back and wondered what was God's intent when He positioned the man over the woman, but still called them one? How could they possibly coexist? I was created to speak. This that shit that's so raw and sweet, like the spit that costs the one man as to see. This that freak that's so equal 7 to 6 shit. I was created to reveal past time, enter into the mind, and cause them to think shit. This that hella like a red, give them number 9, nursery rhyme. Back when grandmas was around, rock you to sleep shit. I was created for dark rooms. I am the illumination that brings hope when the soul has been locked away. I use words like puzzles to put together the hidden things. There's always been a war on the truth. So there's been an attack on my voice ever since I was a youth. This ain't some shit I just choose to do. This is a call. So even when I turn the phone off, God never let it stop ringing. So I ask you this question. Who are you? Are you the sum of your scars where your stars lay dormant? And every interaction seems pointless. And before you know it, we're defined by TikToks, Snapchats. Now there's a book with no face. Why they use social media as a tool to assimilate. We're left there with no DNA to identify who we are. Some look to the stars for answers while others look to God. But what was really the charge? Was it to get together and form cliques and call it religion? Was our inability to be content when we don't know, so we over-explain and call it physics? Was it pride? The reason why Adam tried to hide his nakedness and shame because he stepped out of his place of grace. We are God, created to have dominion and multiply by design. We were commissioned to go. So every room you walk in, you make sure you turn your light on. So when they say I'm something different, I tell them this that better made corned beef, chili cheese, deep shit. And don't you forget it. So I want to do this poem and I'm going to tell you about the experience. So my daughter right now, she's 7. But when she was 6, she was in 1st grade. I came home. She came home. You know, like you do like all children. How was your day? How was school? Such and such. When we talking about that, she tell me about this little girl in her class that's been just being mean to her and saying things to her. I was like, oh, okay. I'm just thinking it's regular, you know, little boys and little girls at the age, you know, they in their growing stage. So I'm thinking, you know, just regular playful stuff. She's like, yeah, he doesn't like me. He said that I'm dumb because I'm brown skinned. So I'm like, you know, I'm thinking like, okay, he don't understand. Let me see if she really understands what she's saying. because I haven't talked to her about racism or about her skin color at that age yet. So, so she told me that's what he said. So I go talk to the teacher, and we have a meeting and all of that with the parents, and we figure out what's going on. So I wrote this poem. It's called Brown Skin Girl. Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. I'm gonna find you, says the indoctrinated little boy who sat next to my baby girl. Only 6 letters in her name, meaning God has answered. But I needed God to explain why she had to learn what it meant to be black at the age of 6. My brown girl had to learn that colors don't only fit on pages. They exist in first grade rooms in the mouths of little boys who think brown skinned girls are dummies. He said, I didn't know whether to be angry or mad, whether to fight with my fists or my head. What do you tell a mother to give her all life out of her womb? There's a wound in her soul to advocate for my baby girl. There's a gift to be gifted with the heart of a child, yet a curse to an impressionable mind, whose seed is in itself yielding fruit after his kind, ugly and full of hate. And all I can hear is his parents' voice saying they are dummies, barely old enough to write, but understand when brown mixes with white, you get beige, so there's nothing you can do to dilute brown out. So imagine being told, we remove his seat, Miss McKenzie, and make sure he's reprimanded. Just another way white people wave around white privilege. They see it just one time acting out, not knowing what occurred. Was my daughter's identity being stirred? And a part of what if I don't articulate every word, what I feel? Or what I have to change every verb to become their version of a black girl with sense? Working harder than ever to prove that black girls are not dummies. Only later to realize that black girls are exhausted. Awarded for being allowed into rooms we're not wanted. Going over and beyond the call of duty because we've never been told you're good enough. So I sat there quietly as I listened to her use words like diversity, inclusion, to try to convince me not to lose it. The issue was more to them. They didn't lose sleep. They couldn't feel my heart as a beat. The pound of reality that I couldn't be there to protect my baby girl from knowing that she was just a little girl, told by just a little boy, that brown-skinned girls are dummies. And I remember that she'd be just another face, maybe like Tamira Rice, or maybe like Trayvon Martin wearing a covering over his head. And in that moment, I understood a glimpse of their mother's pain. That I couldn't be there to protect my baby girl because she was told by just a little boy that brown-skinned girls are dummies. He said, so I'm doing a lot of racial pieces because I want people to understand that it's serious. It is a real thing. I would never have thought to have to experience that with my daughter, my 6-year-old daughter. I thought she was just making up stuff like, so what you mean? You know what I mean? Like, but that was her reality at such a young age. You know what I mean? So I want her to know that we are all made from the same thing, love and blood. We all have the same air. We may come from different aspects of life and grow up in different areas, but we are all the same. And we all should be treated the same. Small. Some define it as insignificant. Others believe it's minute. Sometimes I see it as the tiny toes on a baby's feet as they jump down. It gets loud when we enter a room. Some say it's a minority group. Some say it's less of us, it's more of them. We are just a fraction of a whole. We don't count for nothing. Just a subordinate to the dominant who controls. They group us together to expose that small means deadly. On one side of the battle, we're not enough. On the other side, they proclaim they fear us. They use words like suspicion, terror, fright to condone why they kill us. They create laws like affirmative action to make us believe they actually affirm who we are. They create spaces for us to fit, knowing we don't fit into small things we are. Big, our mouths, our minds. We are World Trade Centers, a mirror for hate crimes, yet they can't break us. Even when they cages, our genius escapes up like the graffiti on subway walls. Something like when Jesus rolled in on the donkey. It's the irony of the meat. It's the gift of the servant. It's the passion of one's purpose to watch the feet of those who deem you greater, yet aware enough to know you can't earn it. It's a free gift. But most don't understand that gifts come with prices. So when you understand the gift is, then you understand what life is. It's a paradox of a bridge, created to be crossed for others to get through. Sometimes so short-sighted, our eyes can't see the view of the details. It was in the details of the message. To learn that understand that mustard seeds turn into lessons. Never want to be broken, but how you gonna know what you made of? It's when I was in pieces I found out I was made of. Small things called atoms. They are part of all things that exist, so I exist in all things. And even when it's flesh leave, all that was left will remain. What was left by the second atom. I hope you find peace in this parable to understand that small things are often overlooked so that they can steal what's truly valuable. Small. All right, so you can get the energy up. I know I didn't drop some heavy pieces, but let's get the energy up. So I had this little thing they was doing on the internet, and it was like a bars challenge. So I like to rap a little bit. So I decided this is my point of view of my challenge. My bars be like London, bridges falling down on that is I am the mortal. Standing in the gap to bring order. Y'all want me to spit some cute shit, but I'd rather spit some truth shit. Take this premise. If I am a God, then God must exist. We resist the need to see that words are building blocks, so I build with my words. When London bridges was falling, they thought iron would work. Built it up with wood and clay, anything not to fill a floor these days. We custom to these when floors that say like the decline in hip hop ain't got calling the poets. I heard him when he sick, get him, I got him. Red dots usually spot him, but I don't like opposites, I use clear eyes. My bars be like sneakers. When a nigga hungry, I feed him, open his third eye, then I greet him with the sunshine light on his life. Not the spirit speak. My bars be like whiskey, Tennessee to be exact, but this ain't Jack. More like Jill with skill, hit and put the D on the map. This ain't rap, just imagery, picture perfect simile. Like the bronze skin, the wool in his head, the fire in his eyes. When I open my mouth, I spit fire, no surprise. I am my father's child. The sum of all parts, I stand still and let my soul position itself. I call it up. X marks the spot. I am the totality. My bars be like vain theoretical spots. I am the constellation of Pluto and Mars, meaning I am death and war. I ain't get this far without having to go through shit. Niggas go through shit and piss when they cough. Long bars, but mentality, y'all. How you hate your own kind? Niggas treason for the season like they hate their own spot. You ain't no stand up, nigga, more like stand up. We are in the midst of a genocide. They want us to come out with our hands up like they in still live. My boss be like pressure. I burst cracks like I'm under the weather. And now I need fixes. I ain't fighting with no dog. I'd rather box with my mind, but y'all rather sleep shit. This doesn't wake you up, neat shit. I heard there was a bar challenge. I came to eat shit. My boss be like barometer, determine the altitude. My comebacks be like Steve on Blues Clues. I leave clues, but niggas never get the next. They rather me rap about gun bars. Like Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Mag on his hit, that shit sounds like two big back on the stars. I ain't lit that shit. This is the memoir of a poet. Hoping to leave God in every verse so we can escape our own bars. So thank you guys for having me. You can follow me on Instagram at JamSpoken, or you can go on there and see everything I have. Books, clothes, and all the rest of the stuff that I have on there. If you guys want to support, I really, really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Keep it going for Jam! Thank you so much. Oh, wow, wow, wow. What an incredible open for tonight. I am, wow, just blown away and so grateful. Cool. All right, so we're gonna go into the open mic. Yeah, right back here. I think our first speaker on the open mic might be new to this mic. Very grateful that you are here and happy to welcome now Truth.
Everybody good? Say good.
Good.
All right, I just have to check. All right, my name is Truth. I'm from St. Louis. We came down here just to get down for you for a little bit. Say cool, say cool.
Cool.
All right, be quiet, girl. All right, here we go.
She asked God for him. She say he is a blessing. Black eyes and ass whoopings, that's how he shows his affection. But he tells her he's sorry, look, this will never happen again. And again, and again. Damn, how many licks does it take for this to end? But she say this is real love, something she never had. See, this is what happens, ladies, when there's no father, no dad. You have no blueprint, no plan. So it's easy for this woman to mistake this boy for a man. But wait, the plot gets thick after drinking so much liquor, she figured this nigga could be a father figure. Because she's got one young king. But how is this boy going to teach him how to love and respect the queen? Or even ride a bike? Hell, he too busy throwing lefts and rights. He got her mind in a daze. She's lofty the abyss. But call her Snow White. All it takes is a kiss. And she swears she woke. But those rings around her neck resemble that of a choke. But this is that real love. No lie. Black eye after black eye, now a year done went by. Man, she's so beaten and sore. Her conscience so mad at her right now, shit. Don't even speak to her no more. Excuse the pun. But now her bastard son no longer wants to be this bastard son. What type of love is this? He keeps kissing her with his fists. He's hugging her with his lies. You can see the woman's fed up. Look. You can see it in her black eyes. I can't even make this up. Her son keeps saying, Mommy, break up. But she just puts on makeup and makeup. Wake the fuck up.
Ooh.
This is that real love. Don't lie. Black eye after black eye. Now a day done went by, a year done went by. And I just fucked up that poem, and I'll tell y'all later on. My Sherry Amore, lovely as a summer day. My Sherry Amore, pretty little one that I adore. You're the only girl my heart beats for. I'm glad you are mine. Poetry, I adore. She's my Sharia Moore. Similes is what I met her for. I told her, come on, girl, let's dip. We could go sailing in my penmanship. To the stars. I'm not another black man behind these bars. My love is true. I got notebooks and pages full of you. Poetry. It's the beautifulest thing I ever saw. So I married that bitch, and I'm not paying me fucking raw. I be laying down the law. You would think I'm a lawyer the way I keep passing the ball. Woo! I'm not the best, but I'm way better. It's a much you snap and clap, nigga, you better. Better now than then. I'm through hibernating, sisters and brothers. Now I'm a stimulus check Corona season right motherfucker. You can suck my dick. Fuck a shot. I'm being sick. I don't need no recognition. Never had. Shit, I told me I'm bad. Facts. Like 70s and Cadillacs. I'm a diamond. But I ain't in the back. I'm out front. Look, I don't front. I be keeping it real. No house nigga in me. I'm in them fields. Giving you something you can feel. A piece of my heart, that's it. But I ain't Erica Badu. I ain't sensitive about shit. You can like it or leave it or get to walking and shut the fuck up when grown folks talking. I'm the present and the past. Longevity no longer bad. I've been there, I've done that, I got a fee. Fuck you, pay me. I'm not the best, but I'm way better. It's a much you snap and clap, you better. Look, I'm in my own lane. I'm at my own pace. Y'all can have the bag. I'm in the safe. Truth, no lie. I'm loud like your favorite high. This ain't no game. What's understood need not be explained. Look, I told y'all I'm bad in these poetry streets. Surrounded by gods and beasts. This is a disrespectful place. Don't come up on the stage. We poets. We'll spit in your face. I got notebooks full of paper. I got papers full of scars. Look, y'all finna get these balls. My pen be on that hen. You better come get her.
Okay.
She getting ready to spit. I'm finna let her. She ain't writing no poem. She writing a whole fucking letter. The best. I'm way better. It's a must you snap and clap. Nigga, you better. True.
Oh yeah, thank you, True. Oh. Yeah. So happy to see y'all here. If there's anyone who hasn't joined the list yet, sign up stays right there, open all night. We next welcome with great thanks, T-Spirit.
Delivered on my destination.
Yes.
And I'm delivering vibrations of confidence, compassion, and patience. Wow. This cloud be fluffy, living me is amazing. And I'm particular about who participates, so it's
black magic here, they pretend to love us, but it meant the most fear. I'm sincere when I still never derail. Intention set so I pay attention to detail. Haven't failed yet because I stay strapped with a backpack full of pick me up, not quick to duck. If I think I can pull a truck, the motherfucker hook me up, or look me up, or look up to me. I'm transparent, a lot of damage to look straight through me. Thought you knew me, baby. This energy recycles. African American idols, we've been gods and goddesses and goddess within self. That's the meaning for the reason why I'm so adamant about my health. That's equivalent to being adamant about your wealth. My people don't even understand your smoothie. You can add a mint. It'll help you digest. I'm on a never-ending quest, so every day I'm seeking. Forever trying to be my best, so every day I'm reaching. I'm like a suction to success, so every day I'm bleaching. I'm humble enough to ask for help with no beseeching. And it's a reason for every being, so don't all no need for haters. So if this is your season, just bring the season and leave a soul shaking. I send intimate sentiments intended for upliftment. And I came into this gift to bring strength to the ones giving uplifting. Everybody waking and baking, but I'm waiting for them to wake and rise. Stop taking the bait and start debating the lies. You looking in the sky for what's within. For all of my battles, triumphs, lessons came disguised as sin. That's it. I always like, because you never know, thank you first of all, thank y'all, but you never know what brought us all to this moment where we decided to start doing poetry, or whatever brought us to this moment that got us to be here right now. So I'm gonna do a piece that's definitely related to who I am. I was a girl that would hold the strap and stuff the dope. And I had my insides full on hope and inside my mind. Mental quote from hood fiction novels caused me to evict the problems that I knew it's like to lead to. But see, winter was the coldest bitch ever, so I chose to put on a sweater and weather whatever season came with the game, or came with the change, because he was getting them coins and he coined the phrase hood rich. See, he was like Hood's Mitch, I was his ace. Boom, boom, fell in love with his son. So every night we shine till the moon came out. And in the drought, we still flooded the hood. And it's all good in the hood till it ain't. And there was really a fake thought, and I always aspired to be a girl's boss or a boss's girl. And it's a man's world where real women make this shit go round. So I found myself making sales and posting bills, and I'm supposed to tell y'all they were off of my thinking. But it was the opposite. It was the anchor that caused me to sink in, and I was so in sync with the weight. Rarely needed a scale. Eyes never fail. I eyeball 8 balls all day. And they was hype on that white, down on that brown, but they really love that gray, no shade, they really love that gray, and I love that pace, fast life, but no fasting right, we stayed eating, reaching for the plate, it was never enough, and every day the dude woke up, he was reaching for the plate, it was never enough, and since he kept that weight, the weight was never too much, so what I knew about my truth was up for revision, and what I seen from heroin's unexpected victims was different, he had his demons under control. So I chose my truth instead of the facts. And we all know birds of a feather eventually flock together, but who believe that? I mean, I had rat friends, but I was never part of the rat pack, and that's my truth too. So in the zoo, when an animal gets loose, what a monkey see, a monkey definitely gonna do, and Caesar made his home right on my back. And as my mind started to roam, curiosity killed the cat. And another fact, when he was on that D, he killed the cat, so behind his back, I crept into the little box. When I came out years later, the things I did to maintain the curiosity was unorthodox. Opened all the locks to the sacred spaces where the virtues were placed, gave random bin combination to the safe for little or nothing. And that was only after the aftermath, after the balling out chapter passed and the feds kicked in. And only after that did the detox and the meds kick in. And him, he wasn't getting out. So the drop brought about a new meaning for me. Now that hope in me was being filled with the need for a potent form of dopamine, so I had to put that dope in me. And I considered cashing out to the highest bidder. Sold my soul on the auction block, otherwise known as the stroll to the highest bidder. So come on and take a stroll down the road with me or down the lane. And I ain't talking about the unaddressed pain from the molestation or the trauma from witnessing my brother's expiration or the anxiety caused from the mother-daughter separation. I'm talking about map down memory lane. To the unedifying deposits that were made in the memory bank. See, the subconscious mind goes way further than what you may think. And those predictable fictional stories stored in me a need for make-believe. So for years, I went here to retrieve the data to program my thought patterns. So what we pour into these babies, yo, it really matters. And how I wish someone had handed me a Zora Neale Hurston, then maybe I would have been so thirsty, searching for purpose on the block. And by 21, your subconscious locks in more than 100 times the content of an encyclopedia. And these kids are being raised and enslaved by the phrases emitted through the media. So at dinner time, who feed them those lies? Who gonna take responsibility when they respond willingly but unintentionally to seek that life? I a habit. I was just aspiring to be the dope man's wife. Thank y'all. I'm T-Trip for saying this. I do have a poetry book. I do have a poetry book called Some Things Must Be Heard for a couple reasons. I'm a community organizer and a whole bunch of other things in St. Louis. Poetry is actually taking me to Ghana this year, next month. So I do have these books called Some Things Must Be Heard. They have a QR code on the inside. You can scan and listen to a playlist of me reciting pieces. Thank you. Oh.
So excellent. Let's hear it again for T-Spirit.
I think we're on a lucky streak and we've got another new speaker on our mic. Please welcome now, Just Aaron.
How y'all doing tonight?
Hey!
Me and Love got a love-hate relationship. Love be on some toxic shit. Got me ready to block the bitch like fuck Love, fuck all this boxing shit. Love's abusive. She always taking shit, making shit harder than what it is. We've been together since we was kids and she always listening to her ratchet ass friends. She likes a bitch too. All my friends said I should leave you. My nigga depression said you ain't good for me. Anxiety said fuck love. Fuck love, man. Fuck love. Fill your cup up with bottles, weed, bitches, distance yourself. They try to tell you you need some help. They don't love you. They don't pick up for you. They don't know what you've been through. See, stress, yeah, that's my homie. He beat up for me when I'm feeling lonely. So stress, yeah, that's my homie. He beat up for me when I'm feeling lonely. Love requires too much. She always taking shit, breaking shit. Now I need a new heart. I've been checking Facebook Market, but inflation's a motherfucker. I know y'all doing that. Life's a bitch and loves her ass best friend. That's why I hate both them motherfuckers. If it wasn't for love, then I wouldn't know pain. If it wasn't for life, then I wouldn't know death. This shit's a lose-lose. I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you. You ain't give me a choice whether I wanted to date you. Love the type of motherfucker to pull up to your house after 12 years, like how you been? Like daddy wasn't serving time, like mama wasn't working overtime, mine had misinterpreted infection. Love have you fearing rejection. Love have you fearing rejection. I'm sorry, y'all.
You got it.
Over time, mine misinterpreted affection. Love have you fearing rejection. Love think it can come and go when it please. Please just leave. Love be playing hide and seek and she always cheating. And she always cheating. Love be toxic as a motherfucker, but I can't never leave. That's it.
Woo!
How many of y'all got an IG? Y'all be checking y'all likes? Like, I wonder if she saw this post. Like, double taps are better than hey, how you doing? Like, nah, that shit has been growing. I'm gonna disable my Instagram for 40 days and 40 nights. Yes, I'm like Christ, faster from asking for y'all attention, mentions, distance. I'm gonna sit my ass on top of the grass hill, listening to Lauren Hill, praying to Zion, like, take away this feeling that I feel, refill me with your will. The devil hit me like notification. Check out this new reel, thirst trap, like, man shall not live off bread alone, without every word that proceeds out the mouth of God. Then I slowly start to peel back layers of hurt and insecurity. Layers of hurt and insecurity, I slowly start to build. I slowly start to peel back layers of hurt and insecurity. I slowly start to build.
You got it.
Go.
You got this.
I slowly start to peel back layers of hurt and insecurity, understanding that them reels ain't real. Comparison is the thief that steals happiness, but somehow people be the happiest when they get 100 plus likes, 50 comments, and 20 shares. But my question is, what happens next? I guess my social life is dead because I disabled my Instagram. People see me like I thought you was dead because I ain't seen you on Instagram. And I'll admit it for a second, all I thought was my Insta fam, you know, the ones who like every post, 100 your story, they love when you turn water to wine. That was a metaphor for how some of y'all use makeup and filters to turn fine. Meditate on that line. Meditate on that line. Somebody crossed me at the dinner table, but on Instagram, I can't get a repost because I got less than 1,000 followers, Judas. See, See, because I got less than 1,000 followers, Judas. See, you're supposed to be one of my disciples. These commandments come straight from out the Bible. If they don't like, comment, repost, then they just don't like you. Start the righteous telling you how we ain't friends because you ain't joined my live the other day. Meanwhile, I ain't gonna die the other day. Until I seen hashtag RIP.
Oh.
Hashtag long live John, murdered in public by Herod, caught on camera. Shit, I got to see you take your last breath. IG said you was baptizing niggas in blood. I ain't know that cuz. But I tell you what, I'm gonna post a picture of us, make sure it go viral. Instagram gonna verify you. That shit makes people suicidal with you. All you have is to follow song on the cross of other motherfucking thoughts. I promise you them reels ain't real. My resurrection gonna be the disconnection from Instagram rejection, reflecting on past traumas that I may be projecting. The enemy uses Instagram as a weapon, but no weapon formed against me shall prosper. My mental shall prosper because I'm gonna disable my Instagram 40 days, 40 nights.
Yes, Aaron, thank you. We're going to welcome up to the mic now. Great thanks to Brad Stevens. You're you. We get every flavor tonight.
This first one is called House to House, Field to Field. 12 cranes flew into town, house to house, field to field. They dug deep holes to build their nests, house to house, field to field. The cranes pecked the worms, spit them out on old concrete, where the sun turned them hard as they died, house to house, field to field. When their pockets were full, they abandoned their nest. They fled the scene just as quick as they could, house to house, field to field. 12 cranes flew out of town, house to house, field to field. They left no places for the worms to live, house to house, field to field. May trouble come to those that build, house to house, field to field, leaving nothing for the worms like you and me.
Oh.
Shoulder cracked on Christmas morn, shattered on New Year's Eve.
Ooh.
By a seizure, followed by another seizure, then a shoulder removed and replaced. The question why cannot be answered in any other way than because. The Boomtown Rats sang, for there is no reason. What reason do you need to be shown? Yet I'm still okay with Mondays. Certainly I will not know the reason in this age. It simply is. In the meantime, Brain has lost almost a week and still plays tricks like hiding names in places just out of reach. Why now? Why ever? A wise one once said to someone, you can go this far, but no farther, and then placed a bit of spiritual warfare on the road less traveled, shattering life as it had been. It's more than synapses firing. It's not a turn for the worse, but simply a turn in an unexpected direction. I hear Van the Man singing, and the healing has begun. And I understand the point is to point me in the right direction. Sometimes you need to be derailed in order to reach your destination.
Hey.
This one's called Thanks a Lot to David Hume. Eyes let light in. Light turns into electrical impulses. Brain translates impulses into a picture in my head. I never really see the outside world directly, if there is one. I live by faith that there is an external world. So do you. We simply refuse to acknowledge it. Reason cannot fix the problem. Reason found the problem. saw it and then promptly covered its eyes. Thanks a lot, David Hume. Don't look at the man behind the curtain. Don't ask, don't tell. But I'm asking, how shall we then live? How can we live? How can we know? No one tries to answer these questions. No one says a word. Is this the first time you've heard it said out loud? Is this the question you buried long ago? Who will admit that the human race lives by faith in the external world? Why is this more than likely the first time you've ever come face to face with this truth? I try hard to make the truth go away every single day. I ignore the truth and live as if the outside world is there, but I do so by faith. God, I hate that.
Yeah.
In the beginning, there was God, and he was completely content. Completely Father, Son, and Spirit. It's hard to fathom. It's impossible is probably a better word to use. A being that exists outside of a universe, who laughs at the notion of a multiverse, and who is completely content with who and what he is. This thing is being. This thing is being. Let me say it again. And one day, before days even existed, this being spoke. And spoke is the only word in the human language that can come close to what happened. And being spoke, and when being spoke, this other creature appeared. Even though you and I will never be able to see it or touch it, it was there outside of God's eternity. And God called this first creature time. Yes, time is a creature. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Brad Stevens. So good to hear you again. Y'all, this is an excellent night, and now I get to invite another first-time speaker on this mic. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome Syed Rahman. Thank you. Make yourself comfy.
The performance today have been awesome. So thank you for sharing all that. It's great to see. Last time I spoke on a mic, half the people were sleeping, so hopefully. Okay. This is called A Child's Vision. It hurts, a pain so hollow. Needles thread the skin. What do I follow? A child's vision under a glassy sky. Flowing colors in a dreamscape, a rainbow that doesn't die. Alone you conceive the bubbling streams of time. Together you strengthen. Wash your hands off this crime. A black hole that threatens the gush. Eats the living, brings darkness's hush. Toil away at your colors, lose the hue. Dull your pink, a sunset is due. Stain away to white, angels and demons, wrong and right. Where discernments? Where is your fear? Where is your bright dark blue? Where is that sultry black? Where is that part of you? Lost, lost, lost. A forgotten ancient realm, withering roots rotting away. The child is messed at the helm.
Would definitely like to hear more from you if you feel moved to come back. We'll be here for the next 2 months. Oh, hello. Well, a living local legend, activist and poet, a dear friend. Please welcome the venerable
Chaos!
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. My name is Chaos. After 50 years of reciting poetry, I finally decided to write a book. It's called
Yay!
Chaotic Birds, Musings. I have this book for sale. It was edited by our illustrious host, Christine Hall.
With cover art by Henry Jones.
Being an elder and reflecting upon life, I have been blessed by the Creator with some fantastic people. I'd like to share with you 3 of those people. One is my coach's 8-year-old who just outright declared herself my boss. So I wrote this poem for her. It's called Ode to the Manager. I never thought when first we met that you would be the one that I could never forget. Oh, I've had many over time after time, yet you were the only one that just outright declared yourself mine. I'll never forget the first word to me uttered in a voice soft as silk. Milk! I can remember hands appearing at the side of my bed, raised for recognition by one too short for me to see their head. Then there was the midnight school, you being the scholar and me being played the fool. For an old poet, it didn't get any better than this. You never sang me to sleep without easing off to your bed after giving me a gentle kiss on the side of my head. So now that your world is growing, you leave me with those memories that on my face keep a smile showing. You are, I think, the best I've ever had or will ever have in that position. Not certain of any other that I could find that would even be competition. There has never been an elected official, a governor, a mayor, or a senator that did the job as well as you did being my manager.
Ooh.
Later in life, after meeting that fine manager that she is, I had the privilege last June of getting custody of our oldest sister, an introverted 16-year-old by the name of Keandrea. This poem is entitled Keandrea. She comes soft as a breeze, moving oh so quietly, becoming one with the wind. Her demeanor seemingly meek, yet a suggestion of boldness, hinting of a secret knowledge, pure and free of sin, oh so very sweet. Oh, the lair of the freshness of youth, the longer to near oneself the truth. I sneaked a peek behind the non-smile of her cheek, and I saw an elaborate thought pattern, swift and fleet. Rather an attempt to survive intact the original image of herself in a dream. The one reality that for herself she sought to keep. Sure, there have been fantasies of an escapism, yet always bordered by mental barriers and prisons of realism. I long after her and her elusiveness, yet championed the quest to arrive on the other side into adulthood, yet alive, yet still possessing some innocence, some idea of real happiness, still herself. Let's call it. Lastly, there's a young lady I met who, at 30, is a full-fledged PhD holding psychiatrist. She runs a therapy clinic with several other therapists up under her. But she also has another hobby. She owns a troupe of burlesque dancers. Woo! Her name is Tia. This poem is entitled Tia. Physically petite, body seemingly small, she's carrying a personality that is over 10 feet tall. An intellect matched only by the size of her love and that of her heart. Her joy is centered around people. She supports herself by helping many of them find their way back from the dark. Now comes Lucy. Oh, then there is Lucy. Footloose and fancy, dancing and prancing, swirling and twirling. I feel an alter ego, an exploration of a side she dares not unleash upon an unsuspecting world. not ready for her, not ready for such realness. Dance, Lucy, thrill me, transfibrillated, reveal for all to see, let down or hold up inhibition's veil. Make no difference to me. I love both sides I see, but both represent the God in you, and that's enough for me.
Yay.
That's what I'd like to say, that I love you. And I'd like to tell you what I mean when I say I love you. When I say I love you, it's not just something I'm saying. And I don't say it to women just because I'm a man. I don't say it to play a game with your head. I don't even say it to try to entice some woman to Ivy with. When I say I love you, I say it from my heart and soul because I believe we're all worthy of love and need to be told. But the problem is, some of us play with each other like we're some kind of prize pit. We'll say anything just to see what we can get. And sometimes when I say I love you, my intentions end up being suspect. Have we, my people, done each other so wrong that we don't understand true emotions when we're shown? But I'll just keep saying, I love you. That's all I can do, I guess. I'll just keep saying, I love you, and I'll let God do the rest. Thank you. My name is Chaos.
Y'all, let's hear it again for Chaos. And keep it going for Billy H.
I'm short. Thanks to our wonderful feature for bringing the spirit of St. Louis, also with her tonight. She and they prove something that I believe. Writing is transcendental and out of body experience. Chrissy Hines says a poem is a meditation.
Yeah.
And by it you are almost transported, lifted out of the mundane, even though you are working within the mundane. Jason Reynolds says all creative writing is simultaneously looking through a window and a mirror. The mirror is a reflection of oneself, but the window is the projection of another, an invitation to an adventure in a world that was previously unknown. On nights that I don't perform, I go to bed at 8 o'clock and I wait for ideas to write themselves in my dreams. And they do indeed exactly that. You see, I got a ghost poet living in my head. And ghostly by definition is supposed to mean he's dead. Uninvited, he moved in. He's made himself at home since then. We're like good and evil twins, me and my ghost poet. He calls me a liar when I'm just blowing smoke. And he throws it in the fire when he doesn't like what I wrote. You see, he's been there and he's done that. It's the truth and I know it, buzzing around me like a gnat. An annoying, light-destroying ghost poet. I've seen his face in the mirror, but it quickly disappears. I think I know where he hides, behind all my long-lost years. He sees where I'm vulnerable when I'm afraid to show it. And he confesses my weakness. That's his job as the ghost poet. Born in his death, and I know it. I can't forget the ghost poet.
More for Billy H.
fantastic. Thank you all. Hello. Yay. There is an open mic list open right there if anybody is here who would like to share and is not yet on it. Next, I'm so happy to welcome back Courtney Bash.
So I recently published a poetry book called To Be Heard. It's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble's websites. But anyways, I'm going to share 3 poems from this book. This one's called Sprinkled Stardust. Someone seemingly sprinkled stardust across the night sky. Each of us, in turn, gaze upon it, utterly spellbound. Across the night sky, sometimes this someone considers sifting through each small sun, turning them over to find the brightest one, only to hold it like a captured firefly beside her bed in a jar on the nightstand. Someone seemingly sprinkled stardust across the night sky. All of us, stargazers alike, utterly spellbound. I don't know if anyone likes Joseph Campbell, but I'm a huge Joseph Campbell fan also. And this is based on a audio clip where he talks about ceremonial tea. So this one's called Ceremonial Cup. To fit the ocean in a ceremonial teacup, North Star guiding crescent waves to bow before the moon. The question remains, to believe in love or to believe in death. Trust when the star implodes, a portal to new life remains. All in divine timing. Let possibility flourish and unfold accordingly. This last one is called Every Kind of Kiss. Today, my fiance and I went to our premarital retreat with our church. And so I thought this one was pretty apt, just in anticipation of our marriage. This one's called Every Kind of Kiss. I want to know your mouth as well as I know my own. Every shape of your lips, the soft curve of your smile, the tug at the corner of your mouth. When your eyes lock with mine, the downward pull that looks so out of place and breaks my heart. I want to know the taste of you. I want you to love my neck, my jaw, my shoulders. I want to feel the pull of your teeth on my ear. If you wanted, you could bite down, pierce the skin, like a vampire lusting for the copper taste of blood, thick and warm and red. I would let you draw away my life force. If I knew it would keep you strong, keep you here, keep you mine. I want every kind of kiss we've never shared. I love you kisses, goodbye kisses, perfunctory running out the door kisses, I miss you kisses, you scare me kisses. Don't ever do that to me again kisses. Kiss me fiercely, desperately, like you're dying and I'm your life-saving breath of air. Kiss me soft and tender. Like every kiss is an apology for all the nights I've spent alone.
Oh, Courtney Bash, thank you. That was beautiful meditation. Jam, I got something for you if you hang for just one second. You don't have to. That'd be cool. I know we don't ever like to walk out in the middle of something. I'm sorry. I should have caught you earlier. But boy, I'm really excited to hear our next one. I'm sure he'll tell you you have a chance to hear him feature at Americana Lounge coming up. That's exciting. Right now, let's enjoy and welcome Andrew Dillon. It's being weird though tonight.
I didn't know this was going to be, November was going to be the last Poetry in the Brew. For me, this is my last Poetry in the Brew. I'm moving away. So the feature at Americana Lounge is my farewell to Nashville reading. It's also the day I'm releasing my first book. It's going to be online. I built it as a website just to make it as hard as possible on myself, so 8 years wasn't long enough. Jam, I loved hearing you read. I fuck with me now. But also I'm here because people like Christine believed in me and gave me a place to do this. I have 2 poems I'm going to read, but the first one I'm going to read needs a little context. So this is a poem by the Irish poet Seamus Heaney. It's called Postscript. It's the final poem in his book, The Spirit Level. In some time, make the time to drive out west into County Clare, along the flaggy shore, in September or October, when the wind and the light are working off each other, so that the ocean on one side is wild with foam and glitter. And inland among stones, the surface of a slate gray lake is lit by the earth lightning of a flock of swans, their feathers ruffed and ruffling, white on white, their fully grown, headstrong-looking heads tucked or cresting or busy underwater. Useless to think you'll park and capture it more thoroughly. You are neither here nor there, a hurry through which known and strange things pass, as big soft buffetings come at the car sideways and catch the heart off guard and blow it open. Ooh. So this is my poem, Postscript, after Seamus Heaney. For maybe the 9th time, I'm opening Heaney to see if I'm ready to understand. Flip to the final poem for a new perspective, suddenly blown open. It's my brother's birthday, and I feel his absence like breathing into a rib resected. He and all our friends' parents now. They speak clearly about the isolation of raising kids in a country that offers nothing but lip service for its children's well-being. I'd never heard, though, about the loneliness of choosing childlessness in that midst. Birthdays, a weekend away from mothers and fathers, other milestone celebrations, not invited. How's school? Have you finished the book? Unasked. A phone call I don't initiate. Carelessness or fatigue, I hope, not disinterest. Every night now, I fail to find a reason not to get high. Fuck me running. I've been blessed by an absentee God. This poison proof it wants me clueless. Neither here nor hurrying through this scene. At each corner, these gusts of neglect catch me off guard. Is it enough to praise the deities who provide a cleaving to heal? Must I also alchemize this pain, ascribe to it some purpose from which to gain? Already my heart attenuates, turning toward more present needs. Already the impending rises into view, the next wound, the next shore. Yeah. I got one more. I've read this one here before, and I usually don't do that. I usually try to, every time, have something new for you. But it felt like the right poem to end on for my last poem at Poetry in the Brew. This is called Apologia of Writing, basically the same poem again and again.
Oh.
The epigraph is from Jane Hirschfield. What we want from art is whatever is missing from the lives we are already living and making. But sometimes I feel like I'll never write another poem. But then remember, every tweet could be the first line of a poem titled The Unblinking Eye. Other times I just sigh and lament, I've got too much to do. But don't think fewer commitments would make me happier. I try to balance all types of effort in my life and still hit snooze 6 times every weekday. Someone convinced me balance was the key to a fulfilling life, and I've been perched on a fulcrum ever since. Ankles aching, a world without music in one direction, another suicide blueprint in the other. There are other pitfalls, but too many permutations to manage. My biggest fear is slipping and piercing my taint on the fine point of a perfect life. One of the greatest gifts I've ever received was from myself. The permission to look straight ahead and accept the world as it exists in this moment. It helps that our eyes constantly create a tiny space in which the most logical world prevails. A mercy when all you want is the fastest route home. A risk when motorcycles and pedestrians are extrapolated away. I'm always concerned I haven't learned the right lesson from my mistake. I suspect my brain of shielding me from many difficult realities. When I have nothing better to do or too many things to do, I tend to consume a lot of bread and beer. I grind my teeth or tap a few bars of a beat with my incisors. I touch my thumb to each finger a number of times proportional to the itch between my shoulder blades, then repeat with the other hand. It's how I keep the world in order. It's a frame the world fits in. What's missing is the rubric for all this effort. When is it enough? Who will teach me? What's missing is nothing. If I look straight ahead and I'm wearing my good shoes.
I bet y'all can guess I'm gonna miss Andrew Dillon. I am excited for the feature performance at Americana Lounge. Americana Lounge has an open mic that y'all should be checking out anyway. It's the third Wednesday of the month. It's gonna be on the 21st. So go drink and revel in some poetry. Yeah. Hey, guess who's next? Woohoo! Oh my goodness. What I'm gonna also say though, I'm gonna do this. Jayru, will you pass that along? We were able to pay our honorarium to the feature. I would love to drum up at least another 20 to throw in down there. If y'all prefer to tip Patrick directly, you are welcome to drop some cash in his bucket. But I mean, you don't have to. There's no shame if you don't. Seriously, there's no cost to be up here. We're happy to have you here. But if you can throw into our costs, you're also welcome to do that, and we thank you. We used to pass a hat every night. We kind of stopped doing that after pandemic. But you know what? We only have 3 months left. And I'm super excited to welcome this one featured for us, what was it, last month? Oh my gosh, you got some more new stuff for us. I'm excited to hear it. Please welcome Brandon Long.
Yeah, no, I really don't. All right, so hello again, everyone. So this first one is one I just wrote the other day when I was in my manic morning phase, coffee high. I don't know, made this, so I'm calling it Time is Yours. Time is yours. Take time. Make time. You can't fake time. Don't break time. Don't lose the beat. Every beating heart has rhythm, so snap your fingers, drag your feet just so. Point your bashful finger at me. I am a legend in my own shower. The cat asks me to kindly return to him his meow and his pajamas. I decline haughtily, of course. You can snap at your own poems. Bet you didn't know that. Don't dim your shine down just because no one's around to see or because someone is. Be our good taste, lest we succumb to the sonic lobotomy that is modern country music. Be our style, embodied, emboldened, beholden to no one no one, no another. Time is yours.
Woo, woo, woo.
So try to do this other one from memory. This one's kind of a new one too. So it is called Perfect Stranger. I'm a perfect stranger. What I mean is, I am the perfect stranger. You don't trust me like you don't trust a car with a blinker on to actually make that turn. Might get T-boned, might get burned. What's at stake? Afraid to see me be real? I'm not good enough at being fake? Well, now we arrive at the real meat and potatoes of the issue. It is you, or just about you, or just about my dream, in which you play a very reluctant role. Should the story be told? Is it a cautionary tale, a love story, a horror, autobiographical erotica fan fiction, a fact-finding mission, risking admittance of guilt to frisky disciplinarians, admonishing me for being so scary? Silt. That's what I'm really made of. Fine dust deposited by the wind, trapped in forgotten corners of rotten dormers you never thought to mourn for, us children in the attic, nor those in the basement. Your prose is placement proper, mine's erratic. Somebody stop her, I'm stuck in traffic. Cut off, wrong turn every time. Maybe I never even learned how to drive, or have drive, or be driven, or forgiven, or forthrightly decide to remain amongst the living. At this point, any lamentation is just more lamination to further preserve my true ID, my survivor's license, with of course only one endorsement, handy capable. But who wants to leave ignorance when bliss is so stable? The most craveable figment my imagination is able to produce without writing on stationery. I don't want you to see my bleeding heart. So I dress in red flags, representative of danger. Though heaven had sent him while the good Lord was still in his manger, the bad Lord was out here perfecting these strangers. No air wasted on an acquaintance, like strangulation with promise of breath for the patient. Shit, death is ancient. Youth is wasted on the young. No wonder nobody makes it. How did I get here? I traded love for fear, hate for patience, ran the human race in reverse, and wondered where the day went. Cursed to fake it, but never make it. Not sure if I'm a sadist, satanist, satirical bad example, but hey, this sample of me is probably enough for now. After all, I am a stranger.
Ooh, hey, hey. Oh, Brandon Long, you always got the good shit. Thank you. Welcome back, and thank you so much, Carolyn.
As always, very grateful for the space and very sad that it's ending, especially since this was the first place a couple years ago that I ever spoke poetry to anyone but myself, and that was really transformative.
You gave us a mighty good feature, too. And you live on in our book.
Yes, that beautiful, beautiful. But yeah, all right, so this poem today is my attempt at a sestina, which did not go well, or you can be the judge, but yeah, all right, this is called A California Sestina, or the trip I didn't tell my mother about until I took it. Okay. I didn't know what I couldn't know. That streets could smell like star jasmine, and then April, and then a different part of the world, and then magnolias large like a face, lining my way home from the airport, like water, like a second year without touch, fingers over lips, fingers retracted, skin laid bare under someone else's hand, skin to cover up back home. My name, you see, was never meant to be said aloud. Second to the names of the women who make my life possible, a second chance at gentleness. I tell my therapist I want a second chance. Star jasmine, when crushed, produces a healing powder. something to live inside, like my name when strangers ask me to say it for them. A kiss, a performance of the magnolia, which is just another way to say bursting, like blood for a spectacle. My skin run through with ink, my mother run through by fear like water. It remains in me until joy or terror forces it out. Why do you wait so long? Water is like a mother-daughter relationship, corrosive and necessary, waiting seconds before the smell catches up. Where else did you first live but in my skin? How could you leave me now? My mother cries, and I remember it was Star Jasmine that followed me home after I slammed the door in her face. Magnolia, my lover corrects. It was Magnolia, but I'm not sure. It felt like my name. Liquid, mispronounced, adopted. My mother blames me. My name that was hers and her mother's. Inherited like misshapen toes. A communal water we drink from each other's lips. A family line bisected. What is your name? I tell them magnolia trees, engorged with thick milky buds. The month after my birthday. I say it is the second before you remember what you meant to say. A white fence overcome with star jasmine. The constellation they told me about, Orion's belt, summer, of freckles dotting the skin. It is everything I was told I wasn't that turned out to be true. It's a spot on my skin I stole from her in the sensory deprivation tank of her body. Her name, my grandmother tells me, was one her father couldn't say. That pointed scar, star jasmine, blue vine, creeping up her thighs. It was 10 years. Even in water, she hid her legs. Our outline is the same, mother. How else could we be but a second generation raised in shame? Only this, only the magnolia I tattooed onto my shoulder behind your back. Only the magnolia, growing off coriander court's lopsided mouth. Only you plays, skin to skin, cheek to cheek, we practice loving each other again. Seconds go by, and we're returned to ourselves. Angry, withered, daughters, nameless, lovers. What an old story motherless girls are. Like water, we filled space around us with sound. A slow turning over. Think us the star jasmine, rewriting the air. Think us the magnolia, part face, obstinate. Think us my name, deconstructed to raw matter. Whetstones. Think us skin, perforated by sun and faulty genetics. Face down pennies. Think us water, everywhere. Think us a news story, populated by seconds that feel like years, toenail clippers on a back step. Star jasmine. Yeah, and then here's another one about how much I like laundromats. And, and shout out to the one on 21st Avenue that's now closing that I love so dearly.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Oh shit, that was in my miniseries, you know.
It was?
I did a poem miniseries during pandemic. It's your time.
Oh, but yeah, everyone go pay respects. It slows down.
It's the good one.
It's so nice. Like such a meditative place. And I wrote this for that. So yeah, meditation on laundromats I love. Natural bedfellows. Okay, a laundromat poem. Waves. That cyclone of pressure met and released, built and taken apart by hand, over, again. Release, retrieval, return that smell, holding the air, lavender and dish soap, devotion, washing away the grit, the spit, the ammonia, stink, human, turn matter, turn verb, turn back, semi-solid, to be swept away, the past run through by that wonderful sound of being consumed by something, that colossal trust, that surrender will yield mercy, will yield an eyes half-closed rest from which warmth will never be far. Can you imagine loving someone so much that you fold their clothes even when they're not there?
Oh. I'm gonna have a lot to go home and cry about tonight. Thank you, Carolyn. I love y'all so much. I love all these feelings, but goodness gracious, over the top with it. Let's keep it flowing. Welcome now, and thank you, Sarah Mingus.
To borrow from the singer-songwriter J.M. Lansdowne, love is a game you should never play alone. So I like to think of this space here every month as a space where we hold space for everybody else and you can share your truth. So thank you so much for sticking around tonight. Today is also World Suicide Remembrance Day. So in honor of all the people that have left us via suicide. Let's take a moment for them and all of the people who have been left behind and all of the people that are struggling with suicidal thoughts. Like Jam, our fabulous feature tonight, I am also a mental health advocate and mental health coach. And one of the great things about being fully present in the moment is that it keeps you grounded. And if you can find a reason to get up in the morning or believe that you can have joy in your life for 10 minutes a day and believe you could do that tomorrow, it makes it really hard to want to die. And I say that because my stage name is also Wonder Woman, and she's my alter ego because when her whole world fell apart, she found a reason to live and get back up and do what she needed to do. So I just want to share that for a moment in remembrance of today. So I'm going to read a few poems. The first one is in memory of a fallen poet from suicide. And then several years ago, I was part of a Lady Gaga event that was hosted by her foundation and NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illness. And the 12-year-old panelist on our panel stole the show. And sadly, he died 2 years later from suicide. And I only met him once, and he's my hero. So I always like to honor him. And this poem I wrote, and I gave his parents a copy of the book, and they loved the poem. So I just wanted to share that. Initiation. 10 days before my 42nd trip around the sun, my initiation into the special Suicide Survivors Club I wanted no part of began. I hoped every day it would not pick me. Gave hugs, hope, and a kind ear, like sweet chocolate handed out freely at the candy store. Alas, my time ran out, and the golden ticket tainted with sorrow I never wanted found me behind stacks of smiles and hope for superhero happy endings.
Oh.
So days like this matter to me because I've been working in the mental health field for over 20 years, but my mom also struggled with mental health issues. It was in and out of psychiatric hospitals my entire childhood and most of my adulthood. And the success story is she found a way to find peace and become one of the most healthy people I've ever met. And I'm a former therapist, so that says a lot. So 2 short poems. The next one is Judgment, because it's really easy to judge people when we don't know their story. Judgment. You judge our stories by the chapter you walked in, because the grass seems greener on your side of the street. We are not so different, you and I. Our lives are interwoven tapestries of stories, unable to separate. Someday, you will find yourself on our side of the street, be it through death, divorce, heartache, or illness. Be kind, show compassion, for someday it will be your lifeline. So before the very last poem, I will be speaking at the Become the Better You conference in St. Louis, October 21st and 23rd. So I'll be performing some poetry along with The Poet Has Spoken. And I'll also be doing a breakout session on how to not sabotage yourself and to live your best life and really love yourself down to your core. So I'm very excited about that. Let me know. There are some free tickets I have available, so let me know about that. And then the very last one, I know it's kind of down today, but I feel like it's important to have these poems. Raw, shards of shattered dreams displayed in stained glass windows, bits and pieces admired by those detached from the piercing sharpness of isolation. Instagram at Wonder Women Rising, Sarah Mingus, on Twitter at Bold Women Poetry and Sarah Mingus, and kind of all over the place. I'm also part of the Prodigal Poets group, so Black Widow is going to be up a little bit later on. So thank you so much for hanging out. I always love to meet new people, and I loved everyone's performance tonight. Thank you.
Wonder Woman Sarah Mingus, thank you.
Visceral work. It now gives me profound pleasure to welcome back Zaxi.
Sorry. Here we go. The best funnel cake in the world is in Santa Cruz. It's soft and crispy, sweet and warm, and it's 2009. Because that's the thing about the best anything, it's a four-dimensional object located somewhere in time. The best soft serve is after 2 weeks of backpacking. The best soda is after 2 months of traveling abroad. And the best funnel cake in the world is too long ago now. 2009, when you were still alive. The four of us are young and dumb, still thinking we're immortal because death has never come for us yet. We're on the boardwalk with the Beach Boys playing, and I joke that makes us real Californians. We get the funnel cake and it's warm against the cold sea breeze. You can hear the crunch against the sound of laughter and carnival, and it stays in our stomach as we ride the roller coaster. Then we head home, and I'm the one who drives your car because I'm overly cautious and the only one who didn't take a hit or a sip, and I've been programmed to think that means I need to worry about your life decisions. Of course, you died randomly, but engaged in pursuing your dream, and I'm still here trying to figure something out. I guess the universe sure showed both of us. And as you sleep, I drive down the dark desert highway as Hotel California comes on the radio. The sugar from the cake is on my lips as I smile at the irony. And I so much want to reach back through time and spin the wheel and go back to Santa Cruz, not forever, but at least one more hour. Because hours are fewer and more expensive than any of us could have realized. So let's laugh and play and eat funnel cake one more time, because it was the best funnel cake in the world. And I can't taste it in my memory anymore. It seems to drift away, like us in the car traveling down the dark desert highway. So this one's a little silly, but I pair them together because they're both sort of summer poems. The boogeyman was slain by the ice cream woman. He came after the children on the summer's twilight, when the day is long and playtime is broken only for dinner. And the end comes not because the sun is already set, but the hour is growing late, and it's time for son and child to sleep. It was at this moment when red and orange embraced the sky that the enemy of summer approached. Now the boogeyman is a creature of shadow but not of darkness, for darkness belongs to summer as much as sunshine, the black smoke of campfire, the stage of the firework, and the canvas by which you see the stars while laying in the field at night, when the world is still full of hope and future, is the sense of danger, the pinch of adulthood, and the shiver of fear that draws every child to stay out past the setting sun. The boogeyman can never claim it. Instead, he is the color of rust and the color of ash, of sea songs long gone silent and campfires long grown cold, his cries the sound of school bells and the echoing wail of childhood companions long moved away. But there in the ass of emerald green, the ice cream woman comes to face him, striding forward in metallic garb, 1,000 glistening quarters fashioned into armor, each clink the sound of an afternoon delight, her blade burning with the ice of permafrost, as she strikes him with a raised eyebrow and mocking smile, the face of one who without a word says, "Well, what will it be, child? I haven't got all day." And the boogeyman rushes to meet her, flying at the speed of time. He strikes, but her armor holds firm. For what is stronger and purer metal than the quarter of a child wanting ice cream? A desire for something sweet and cold when the world is so large and hot and perhaps even cruel. A taste of peace and joy, life and laughter to remember on the tongue when summer ends forever. Isn't it amazing how big and how important such a small and simple dream can be? So she prepares to strike him. And that's where the story ends, because if I knew how she killed the boogeyman, he wouldn't still be haunting me. If I knew exactly where she struck him right now, he would be no more. But on the days when he comes for me, it's the little things that drive him back. A warm hug, a good book, and sometimes a scoop of something sweet and cold. And as I raise the single scoop cone high, he sees it and flees in terror. And I remember the boogeyman was slain by the ice cream woman.
Yeah. Oh, that was a lovely couplet, Zach C. Thank you so much. Ooh, yeah. We got the roller coaster of feelings, and it's a churning. And I remain grateful for you all. I am going to welcome up now and thank you, David Stroud.
How y'all doing? These are literally, I wrote these literally a few days ago. So they're all new. And some of my poems borrow lines from my other poems. But I'm not going to apologize for that. This one's called Proprietary. My words are proprietary, but they flow endlessly. I never had writer's block. My will is harder than that rock. Though a sledge can crack me, the hammer has to hit me first. Words are my thirst. I can't hear without my glasses. My spit is sweeter than molasses. It's the music in me that makes me rhyme like time. Tick-tock like a clock. Chime like a bell. Words to sell. Barrel words hit the target like William Tell. I wondered why I penned some of my best stuff while drowsy. Because I'm close to slumber. When far-out dreams call my number. Imagination runs amok, but nightmares don't hit me like a truck. Subconsciously, poetry eases my stress, a natural defense against environmental mess. I am the last poet, and this isn't my last chapter. There will be plenty more poetic thoughts to capture. I used to say, I'm like Aunt B, some don't listen to me. Must I be 6 feet under before you hear my thunder? But now I say, see the love, I'm 6 feet above. I shall rise above negativity and pursue peace and positivity. You can't hurt me with words. You just inspire me to be a better person. I reject words borrowed from a stranger and close my ears in the third person. Hate has nothing to do with love. Love is a whole lot nicer than any monster I could ever think of. And this one is called Love a Thousandfold. My love is a thousandfold. That's the truth be told. Can there be reciprocation? I have written 1,000 love poems, not just reiteration. And if I thought it'd make a difference, I would plaster them all on the wall. And not just the wall, but every wall. That is, every wall I deem appropriate for the message intended. That love hasn't ended. And if I thought it would move you, I'd skywrite those love poems inspired by one. And then I wouldn't be undone. I would nail the poems to every billboard, every telephone pole, to every bulletin board, to paper or electronic. And if I thought you would be moved, I would post those poems on every media, on the World Wide Web. And if I thought you would see the love I have for you, and even then, if you thought my love wasn't true, I'd write 1,000 more love poems in melodramatic volumes, the likes of which no one has ever seen. I think of you, dream of you, and dwell on visions of how we could paint the joy that ain't. My love has no bounds. I will always write the words that love chose. You are my black rose, and I am your white rose. Together we'll tap the keys to beautiful melodies. If only just in my mind, we'll ride the raindrops of wonder to visions of prismatic shrouds and dance on silver-colored clouds, zigzagging on laser beams like super streams. And as we frolic to the music of our hearts, like flying bullseye darts, exponentially we'll paint the joy that ain't. And this is the one, I don't think I had a chance to read it last time because my phone was messing up, so I made sure I didn't have a phone.
No.
Okay. It's called Forevermore. For all my tomorrows, for all my endeavors, for all my todays, for all our future ways, I wish them with you. For this I hold true, there is no better day without you. There is no world without you in it. We're in it for better or worse. The best days are yet ahead. Some things are better said than read. Our future is not written in ink. So pencil in some days with me. It's not like we got a world to see, just quality time with you and me. And if by chance my love seems late or fading, it won't hurt you to have to wait. It's you I truly love, as doubts will vanish like clouds above. From daydreams to reality's extremes, you're in my dreams. Continually, exponentially, we explore what could be, what would be, and what will be. We tap the keys, and together we'll compose the notes of beautiful melodies. You are my black and I am your white, the yin and the yang, the ebony and the ivory. We are the ones that love chose. You are my black rose and I am your white rose. We'll paint the joy that ain't. Riding this rainbow and lightning beam to visions of prismatic shrouds, through thunderous clouds and drenching rains, straight on through midnight and into dawn's early light. You are the super surge that powers love's magnificent urge. Always and forever, we'll hold each other's hands and dance to the music of our delightful song.
David Stroud, thank you for sharing your poetry and your ever-flowing love with us. We appreciate you. And we are also thankful to now welcome Greg Slade.
Hey, y'all.
Make it comfy.
All right. This is called What I Meant to Say. Excuse me. People without power will say just about anything. Perhaps we all need a platform to speak on, to amplify our voices. See, when no one's listening anyway, we find so many things too easy to say. But put us in silence, up on a stage. Lights in the eyes while the people wait. The electrified mic becomes a little more heavy in the hand. Names been called out. You're not anonymous, man. So what's that name you came and gave actually have, in fact, to say once the hush falls and the volume comes up? That's when having something to say becomes a little more tough. Once we see the power of our voice, of our words and their reach. If we were always being heard, how differently might we learn to speak? If we were not trying so hard to get some attention, what language could be spoken to see the force of the word's intention, to see the fruit of the will be born of? The enemies list would be torn up. If truly you felt your speech could lead to something greater, why then in your power would you even think to speak of haters? If you knew your words were to be well taken, why then would the voice raise like a spirit from its own containment? What steady hands are ever better when they're shaken? What demand has the truth truly of its agent? What do of the words where the fear and pain of ages went? If you knew how much it hurt, would you ever say such a thing again? No. If you knew how much it helped, would you wager then to call me friend? If the world would listen, could we all then make amends? Heard on high the word from every end? Voices grown true from being so long badly bent? Leaving the fake praise alongside the empty lament? Speaking the truth instead? And feeling better than when the voices had been denied, their power having been stemmed? Hidden in a cave, in a jar of clay, just waiting for the latter days when the spirit of truth could be spoken again. What I meant to say.
I'll say it. Hello. Thank you, Greg Slade. Woo! Oh my goodness, y'all. Oh, honored and delighted to welcome now Black Widow.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Black Widow, spoken word artist from Franklin, Tennessee, also the creator of the Prodigal Poets. We do have a callback. It goes, go poet, and you say flow it. So go poet.
Flow it.
Go poet.
Flow it.
I think I will. So today I brought this new anthology that I have been published in. We had to be. It's an anthology on breast cancer. For those of you that don't know, I did beat stage 3 breast cancer. Thank you. So I have 4 pieces in this book, 1 in each chapter, and I'm very proud of it. Proceeds of this book go to breast cancer research. This piece is called Victorious. Cancer touched me. Death came banging at my door, peeking out, lifting up my arm. Can still feel a strain. My life was once filled with unimaginable pain. Touched on my right side, emotions were hard to contain. I felt it and decided I'd fight this with pride. You swooped in with your wings and horns. I was looking all forlorn, telling me all these imaginative things. You pricked me, saturated with your venom. It made my skin turn black. The torture of it was indescribable. You hid your attack. Empathy you did lack. With your horns twirled into hooks, giving me evil looks. When trying to push you away, you reached for me, begging me to stay. You need me to grow, a leech sucking my blood. Vampire-like teeth you did show, sinking into my soul. I couldn't see beyond your all-encompassing wingspan. I was losing control. There was darkness all around. Couldn't hear any other sounds. Your voice calling out to me. I felt immovable, stuck in your game. There you were lurking, glowing like those fish in the depths of the sea, the ones with the snares that look so enticing. Get too close and they will devour you fast. Loving them would never last. I fell into a deep sleep. You didn't ever try to wake me. You're manipulative and only looking out for yourself. Trying to defile me, such a malicious creep. Touching me is where you felt you had your wealth. Deep inside my torso, it was shattered. You reached into my lymph nodes and muscle, into my fresh meat. I would not admit defeat. If you went any further, I'd breathe you into my lungs. If that happens, there was no turning back. Yet I caught you in time. Pull your hand off me, you lost. I'm pushing you away. In the dark, you will stay. Hiding in the shadows, waiting for another free ride. You tried to consume me, you got deep inside. Yet I cut you out, replaced the cavity with my own flesh. Now I'm filled with happiness. These scars I'm left with remind me of a war. Swelling comes and goes, yet I'm a fighter, everyone knows. Slink back into your moldy cave, awaiting someone else. You're lost into the unknown. Your true colors have been shown. Can't touch me anymore. It doesn't matter what you do. I'll always beat you. It's the end and it's glorious. I came out victorious. This next piece is called Sapio Feeling. It's about being attracted to someone's intelligence. I've been working on memorizing it. Let's see how it goes. Sapio feeling. I haven't been touched in a long time. When I say touched, I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about mentally. Like theoretically speaking, hypothetically touching, mind fucking. Rewind. I haven't been touched in a long time. When I say touched, I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about mentally, like theoretically speaking, hypothetically touching, mind fucking, craving. I'm gonna have to read it.
Got it?
Whoop, whoop. I'm almost there, y'all. Next show, maybe. Okay. Sapiosexually craving, intellectually yearning for words romantically. Touch me smoothly with your mind, seductively, feigning to know what you may not show, why you do the things you do, what makes you, you. Let's talk about the stars, traveling to Mars, writing bars. I want to know what goes on in your mind. Let me feel it vibrationally, thinking about it, biting my lips so sensationally, imagination of our conversation running wild, poetically going back and forth, flowing lyrically like love notes passing in the hallway, folded up secretly, unlocking another level of chemistry. Ask me questions rhetorically, tear me apart completely by speaking to me intimately. If you want the key to my heart, the password is a code that must be deciphered. It must be unraveled psychologically. There are still places that are untraveled. Can you bring up situations ethically? Could we philosophically debate about sociology? Touch me, please, intelligently. Leave me tingling, waiting for our next mind-blowing interaction. I want some of that hot attraction. Touch me where your hands could never reach. Baby, I need some of that sapio feeling.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. So I'm Black Widow. Is it because I'm a widow forever? Is it because of my broken heart? Is it because of my love of spiders? Remembering Esmeralda, my pet. I've named all the ones I've met. My poetry may be dark at times, but there's a lot of love in these lines. Sometimes in the darkness, I see flashes of red and black. Not all are waiting to attack. Remember this if you see one out the window. This is why they call me Black Widow. Thank you all so much. You can follow me at Black Widow Poet on Instagram, Black Widow Poetry on Facebook, also Prodigal Poets on Instagram and Facebook. We have a calendar out. We perform every week. So hope to see you at a show soon. Peace, love, and poetry.
Woo! Peace, love, and poetry indeed. Thank you, Black Widow. Y'all, we are almost to the end of our open mic list. I want to thank y'all so much for hanging out. If there's anyone we haven't heard from who would like to join, that's still open. But now I am thrilled to say it is the time of the evening when I get to welcome my sons. Thank you. Welcome, Jeru Hall.
Hello, hello. I have 3 short poems tonight. This one makes my face hot and my heart beat.
Ooh, yay! That's a good one.
It is called My Favorite Flavors. My favorite food flavor is orange creamsicle. My favorite smell flavor is amber vanilla. My new favorite smell flavor is the smell of the tears from the Brits crying about the Queen's death. My favorite touch flavor is my lips against the mirror I'm looking in. My favorite pattern flavor is all the women I meet leave me like my therapist. Not my mother, though. I know her. My second favorite pattern flavor is that all the men I meet, I leave like my father. Not my brother, though. I know him. My favorite ear flavor is the sound of the laughter from my charm. My favorite color flavor is emerald green in the eyes of my dream lover. My favorite flavors are the best flavors. Fuck you.
Oh my God!
This next poem is about the gym. Going to the gym is an experience. Not good or bad, but an experience. Whenever I start stretching, eye contact feels forbidden. But whenever I do make eye contact with somebody, they try to size me up. Thanks to my uncle, I know proper gym etiquette. Wipe down everything when you're done with it. And once you're done with the machine, get off it. However, even the most steroid-filled, thick-skulled individuals break the rules to the best of their ability. They wipe their sweat onto the machines and sit on them for up to 2 hours. But who am I to place blame? They do own it by leaving their AirPods on it when going to the bathroom. The weird thing is, even when I can barely walk or hold my water bottle when I'm about to leave, once I'm at home, I want to go right back. My sweat must mark its property on the rowing machine I sat on for 2 hours. Joking, of course, I sat on it for 3 hours. While I love saving money as much as I can, like the good Jew I am, I find home workouts so hard to convince. I prefer meditation where I'm crowning the whole time. Running gives me a high that I know I can't experience with drugs. Even though I've done it many times, I still feel like I'm going to die during it. But when I know I'm going to make it, I feel like I'm on top of the world. I don't even know why you would listen to me. I go to Planet Fitness. All right, this one's about school. Ever since I came back to school in person last year, things have been off. The water from the water fountain doesn't taste like it used to. Science class wasn't as easy as it used to be. Nobody uses lockers anymore for some reason, maybe because they stench of weed. All the girls are really good at eye makeup now, which makes a huge difference somehow. The eyes are the gateway to the soul. Also, I've somehow gained confidence to tell the people I despise that I actually despise them. It's like a superpower or something. Whenever I tell them that, they leave me alone. However, there are some things that still haven't changed. There's still people that don't know how to blow their nose and keep sniffling. Most of the male teachers are really creepy and racist. People still don't know how to use perfume or cologne correctly. The clubs are for the LGBTQIA+ that say they're a safe place are still the opposite of a safe place. Band kids are still the worst type of people since they talk shit behind their back and act like they didn't when you confront them. People who whisper slurs in your ears still don't get consequences they deserve. Whenever you get good grades, you still get insulted by being called smart. But who am I to talk about all of this? I'm a theater kid.
Thank you, Jeru Hall. Please welcome now T.C. Smith.
First off, the queen is dead. What, did you think I was going to say long live the king? Fuck the monarchy. Okay. End of an era, right? Okay. Secondly, y'all are my fucking muse. I am almost, two years or so, I've just had the worst case of writer's block. I haven't been able to write shit. I got like 2 paragraphs done in the past 2 weeks. It's crazy. So thank you all. And secondly, Jeru, that was funny. That shit was funny. Okay, so I wrote this poem sitting there, and I genuinely, I have mixed feelings about it. But like, I'm kind of proud of it because, you know, it might be the longest poem I've ever written. So I will read quickly. Until I die, somewhere in my psyche will endure a sliver of this hateful world. It burns like molten silver, reflecting within me something grotesque and cruel, covetous and unjust, begotten by covetousness and injustice. It speaks to me through dreams and cracks in my conscience, to shadowy places where the demons wrought of our darker aspect. I can't read my own friggin' handwriting. Where the demons wrought of our darker aspects dwell. It beseeches a sense of justice instilled by a radical upbringing. It blurs the line between righteousness and vengefulness, weaving images of burning cities and fallow fields sown with salt, of streams running red and stones that echo the cries of lamentation. It urges me to follow in the steps of all those who take upon themselves the task of fixing this dysfunctioning world. Yes, O wise one, if you were in charge, it would be different this time, it croons. You aren't like the others. You are better, with only pure intentions. Sweet, reassuring words, so distorted from the actuality to be dishonest. When flattery fails, it takes the scourge to my skin, or makes me do so. You betray your ideals by refusing the call, it berates. How will you liberate them if you aren't in charge? As if anyone is liberated when someone else is in charge. No, instead, I choose the path of grace and cooperation, the active forgiving of myself and others. No, I don't think I'll raise anyone's heart. No, I'm not going to salt a perfectly viable garden. I will not defile a river with such sanguinary acts. Instead, I shall extend my hand in good faith, that we might rise above our base and cruel impulses to build a world that doesn't make anyone feel this way.
Oh,
T.C. Smith, thank you. Let's hear it again for all of you. Oh, what a beautiful crowd. What a beautiful night. Again for Jam up in the
Y'all, thank you so much. Whoa. Okay, so you know we got 2 more times up in the space, October and November. That'll be nice. Next Saturday, if you feel like coming out to a pop-up on the Labyrinth at Scarrett Bennett, we'll be doing that Saturday the 17th at 1 p.m. And then on the 21st, you want to go to Americano Lounge. There's an open mic and Andrew Dillon is featuring, and that's like a goodbye party. So we definitely don't want to miss that. The night after, if you're still in the mood for more poetry, Po Boys and Poets on the 2nd and 4th Thursday of every month is at Copper Branch, which is a restaurant that's attached to the Nashville Downtown Library. They validate parking. The library garage is reasonable. I suggest you check it out. I also am featuring that night. Y'all, tell us.
28th of September at Soul in Nashville, Brooklyn Poetry Show. Open mic.
Okay, so you want to check that out. The 28th, Soul. Soul is a good one. Follow the Prodigal Poets. Follow Black Widow. Follow every freaking buddy. Share and share alike, y'all. Grow the scene. Speak your words. Breathe the life. Carry the confidence out into the world and change it. Y'all have a good night. I love you. Bye. Oh, I love you so much.